So the brand new Asad Bourbon by Lattafa is here. The year just started and Lattafa has already released a brand new fragrance. I told you guys. So this one is going to be a lot sweeter than the original Asad, which you know is their take on the Dior Sauvage Elixir DNA. This one has cacao and vanilla and this Mirabelle ingredient in the opening. I'm going to tell you all about this one in just a moment, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Asad Bourbon, and of course with a name like that, it could be bourbon vanilla, but one might also suspect that it's going to lean a little bit boozy. I'll tell you what I think. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, and of course if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. So here we have a fragrance that is sweet leaning. So there's this cocoa/cacao ingredient. There's also vanilla in the dry down, but I think the most notable thing is this Mirabelle ingredient in the opening. And Mirabelle has a bit of like a plum aroma. So it's a little fruity, a little sticky. It has this syrupy sweetness to it, depending on how it's used. I know I've encountered it in a few different perfumes in the past, but of course it's not as common as plum, for example. But nevertheless, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the smell in just a moment. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So what are you gonna get as soon as this fragrance opens up? Well, it does open up rather sweet, and you do have this cacao ingredient in here, and I think that's going to be one of the main players of this fragrance. As a matter of fact, as soon as it opens up, it's a little powdery. You have this chocolatey vibe and it's combined with the vanilla. And so that counterpart of the sweetness coming from a chocolatey side of things and a vanillic side of things, I think it creates a really nice night out on the town type of a DNA. And I can see this one being really, really popular, especially when you're looking for something not to be worn in a super executive setting or a super formal setting. I think that's what the original Asad is for. Now, of course, with the nutmeg and the cardamom and all of these other ingredients in the original Asad, I can understand why somebody would want to wear that very professionally, suit and tie. This is more of like you're going to the club, you're going on a date, you're hanging out with friends, maybe you got invited to a party, and you're just looking for something a bit more playful, but a bit more casual as well. I think you're definitely going to get the job done with the new Asad Bourbon. There's nothing boozy about this one. As a matter of fact, so this one kind of reminds me of Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Intense. It kind of gives me that sort of a sweet, powdery, you know, night out on the town vibe. But this one also, at least initially upon the first spray, it reminded me of Hugo Boss The Scent Elixir, the one in the red bottle. I love that one. It's really one of my favorite releases of last year. I think it came out in 2024. Nevertheless, this fragrance I think is awesome. And for the price point, that's going to be the biggest selling point when it comes to Lattafa perfumes, is the fact that they're so darn inexpensive, right? So the affordability is something that is always working in the brand's favor, especially when considering the fact that, you know, nowadays, I know a lot of people, myself included, are on a very tight budget and we don't have hundreds and hundreds of dollars of disposable income to spend on an eau de toilette or an eau de parfum. So this makes for a really good, first of all, a gift, right? So if you want to gift it to somebody and you want something with quality, you want something that is not going to proverbially break the bank, but also something that is going to smell pretty darn good, I think this makes for a really good gift. But I think it's also a great fragrance to add to one's own personal collection. Look, I think this one is solid. And I have a lot of the Lattafa fragrances in this presentation. I purchased Yara Toast, I purchased Yara Moi. I also have Yara Candy. I don't have the original Yara yet. That's one that I need to acquire. I have Asad. I've smelled Zanzibar. My friend Chris allowed me to try that one, and he actually gave me a sample of it, and that one is beautiful as well. But this one is really, really, really good. If you have the opportunity to try this one, if you like the sweeter leaning olfactive profiles, I think this is one that you'll inevitably enjoy. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, for me personally, it's it's not the most unique fragrance out there. And I think, you know, probably the most unique Lattafa that I tried is Teriyaki Intense. But this one, of course, given the DNA, given the addition of that Mirabelle ingredient in the opening, it is a bit unique, and it's not a carbon copy of any other fragrance, but you can tell it's inevitably inspired by some of the more popular designer fragrances that have hit the market as of late. And of course, one of the Valentinos, I don't remember if it's Born in Roma Intense or Coral Fantasy, but it's one of the sweeter leaning profiles out there. It's not Yellow Dream, I know that for sure, but nevertheless, I think it's great. Longevity on it was about 7 hours on my skin. What is the concentration of this? Eau de Parfum. So sometimes I don't even look at it, I just spray it on and it will last for as long as it needs to last. And I try to best ascertain the performance, not by looking at the labels and the designations and stuff like that, but through my own personal experiences. But I did get at least 7 hours on skin. Projection on this one, actually pretty good for the first hour of application. I guess that powdery, chocolatey nuance really allowed the fragrance to jump up off the skin. Versatility on this one, quite good. I just probably wouldn't wear it in a professional setting, but you can wear this one casually, night out on the town. It's a sweeter leaning DNA. I think this one is going to be masculine according to a lot of people's standards, so I can see that. And I think this one will probably cater to a younger demographic on account of the sweetness. Presentation on this one, really nice, but I know mine didn't come with, I think it's a sticker that they put on the front here. It kind of just fell off. I was looking at my other bottles and they do have it. I was looking inside the box as well, but to no avail. Nevertheless, my final verdict on this fragrance is it's an awesome fragrance. It is such a great fragrance from the Lattafa brand. And again, I have purchased so many, Liam Gray and Nebras and the original Asad, and every time Lattafa comes out with a new perfume, I always want to acquire it because I think the brand is producing some amazing fragrances. Let's not forget Khamra and Khamra Kawa as well. Those are two of my favorites of all time. Nevertheless, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you took something of value from today's episode, and if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. So thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.